All right, guys, Ryan Poles is at it again. He's hard at work. He's putting this team together, and I'm really excited about the direction this team is going. 3 big additions to the roster. I'm going to give you the full breakdown, the implications, and the salary cap of what it means. A lot of you on Twitter, on different comment threads of previous videos are asking, what's the updated salary cap? What does it mean? Where do we stand? We're going to break down all of that. But first of all, one of my most exciting ones, I got to bring this in here. I am going to preface this, and I'm going to pause it in case I have to cut this out. So if it gets cut out, just know they didn't allow me to play this, but everyone knows this play. Last game of the season against the Packers. I probably need to turn off the sound on it just to make sure I don't get in trouble for that. But this is the play where Josh Blackwell returned the punter man on our team. So, and he's a special teams special. I mean, he's great. There's nothing to complain about with Josh Blackwell. So I love this. The other one, now Josh Blackwell signed a 2-year, $3 million per year or $6 million total contract. He did avoid the exclusive right free agency or restricted free agency in his case. We could have tendered him for $3.26 million. He came back at just under that. So obviously he's being a team player. Appreciate that out of him, and I think he's going to have a pivotal role on this team on special teams and down the road. Amen Ogbongbemiga, obviously we brought in last year on a 1-year deal. He earned more than his weight in gold. One of the best tacklers on the team, special team specialist. So you see those little marks down there, nickelback special teams, linebacker special teams. Same thing here with Durham Smythe, tight ends special teams. These guys are all involved on the special teams. So big additions. Richard Hightower is a very happy man today getting all these players back for his special teams. What are the implications of it? Well, first of all, here is the news on all 3 of them. Ian Rappaport, the Bears are signing former Dolphins tight end Durham Smythe to a 1-year deal. Source says as he's back with Ben Johnson, his former wide receivers coach in Miami. Smythe was one of the longest tenured Dolphins. It is rumored right now that deal is around $2 million. I will update you as soon as that deal is firm and we know the exact numbers on it, but it is a 1-year deal. Also, Lester Wilfong here. The Bears have now retained their top 3 leading special teams tacklers in Amen Ogbongbemiga, Daniel Hardy, which we reported the other day, and Josh Blackwell. The Bears are retaining linebacker special teamer Amen Ogbongbemiga, and Josh Blackwell has agreed to a 2-year, $6 million deal. So there's the news on all of those. Here's what we want to know about it. So number 1, Durham Smythe. 2 big things here. Number 1, they're reporting this. Excuse me. Cough, I got to take a drink. They're reporting this with his overlap with Ben Johnson. So right there you see Ben Johnson was with the Dolphins from 2012. Sometimes it helps me to be on screen. Sorry if you guys, I know you guys don't care, but it helps me to know what I'm doing and to feel comfortable. So the Dolphins, 2012 to 2018, he did leave for Detroit after 2018, but you see the year they drafted Durham Smythe was 2018. Not saying he had a pivotal or important role in that, but he was working with him in Miami. More importantly, I think this is a picture of Cole Kmet and Durham Smythe. And yes, Cole Kmet replaced Durham Smythe on the roster. He was his backup in 2017. So up here is Cole Kmet, 17, 18, 19 with Notre Dame. Down here, Durham Smythe, 2014 through 2017. So they were teammates on that 17 roster. This is both of them together at Notre Dame. So I thought that was pretty cool. The other big question a lot of fans have had on this one, how are we able to sign Durham Smythe before free agency begins next week on the 12th? It's not even the tampering period. It's not even the 10th yet. How are we able to sign him yet? Well, because he was released prior. He wasn't on their active roster leading up to the end of the season. Teams have all these players. They're technically still on the active roster right now. So all our players are still on. Even the ones that their contracts are ending. This is the last year of their contract. Tevin Jenkins is still a Chicago Bear until the 10th, until the 12th, when the new league year ends and the new one begins. So right here you can see on the 14th, released cornerback Kendall Fuller, running back Raheem Mostert, and tight end Durham Smythe. So he was released on Valentine's Day. That's cruel. That's heartless. By the Miami Dolphins. So he could have signed any time between then and now with any team. The Bears have gone ahead and signed him. They like what they're seeing there with Durham Smythe. And honestly, I'm kind of a fan of it as well. This is what we talked about. I had proposed, maybe Jacksonville's Luke Durham being the one, Luke Farrell being the one that we sign and replace. Similar deal. Almost identical style of player. You can see here Durham Smythe a little bit bigger than Farrell, 6'6", 246. Right here is his special teams, so nothing off the chart with his special teams, but a lot of snaps there on special teams every year, part of it. Here's his receiving, only 366, 129, 357, 208. So he's not a receiving specialist by any means, but he is a great blocker. Don't look at this entire thing. You need to look at his blocking grades, and really his run blocking grade is better. I didn't put that up here, but he is an excellent run blocker, pass ball. I mean, he's really good blocker, so the numbers don't always tell everything. You have to look at the tape. So pause again here. If this gets cut out, just know I was trying to show a couple clips. If not, here, you guys get to enjoy the entertainment of it. So here he is right there, number 81. Watch this. He's going to level out his guy right here. So we'll move this to the side. Go ahead and push that. And boom, leveled out. Guy didn't see it coming, obviously, but still big. Now watch him on the pull here. He's going to pull and block, and he's just a little bit of a force. Watch him as he comes in, pull, block, looks for the next guy to hit. He's in there on every play. So I really like this addition. This is essentially replacing Mercedes Lewis is what this is doing. He's Mercedes Lewis's replacement. Younger, though, 29 years old right now. Yeah, Mercedes Lewis is a decade older, most likely retired. And equally good blocker. Mercedes Lewis was one of the best blockers in the league back in the day, but this last year was not pretty for him. So we'll watch this play. Boom. Who's next? Boom. Got to look for it. So that was good. So what does this mean for our roster construction? Well, we still got a long ways to go. There's still a lot of things to fill out. A lot of people make it sound like, well, we've handled both guards and we've got a tight end 3 now. And there were some people complaining on Twitter about Durham Smythe, and I can't understand that one at all. You knew we were going to need 2 tight ends. We're not going to go into the season without at least 3 tight ends on the 53-man roster. To me, and we met with a lot of tight ends at the Combine. In fact, Mason Taylor wasn't initially reported. We did meet with him. I mean, we met with Tyler Warren. We met with several tight ends. So I think it's a priority for the Bears. Not priority 1, but it is going to be a priority for the Bears to be able to pick up a second tight end, a tight end 2, and you see the 7 draft picks we have. Obviously 107 is gone from the trade we made for that beautiful man right there. We still need a center, wide receiver 3, wide receiver 5, depending on how you view Tyler Scott. Long snapper, that should be easy to fill. Linebacker, defensive end, nose tackle, backup defensive end, backup 3 tech, cornerback, safety, backup center, backup left guard, offensive tackle. Now, some of these could be filled by other spots, like Bill Murray could end up earning that spot as the backup left guard. We'll see what happens. I still see them needing to add depth there as well. So there's a lot of roster spots still to fill. But let's actually pull up the salary cap for you guys. Let me pull up the salary cap here. Pull me off screen. All right. I know a lot of you want to know the updated exact salary cap, so let me give it to you here. So this is the completely accurate, up-to-date salary cap for the Bears. Remember, these orange ones, they don't count against the roster, against the cap, because they're just extra bodies you're bringing in to compete. Maybe one of them will make the final roster spot, but over here on the side is where I have the counter of ones that should be guaranteed to make the roster spots in the end. So you got Caleb Williams, Tyson Bagent there, DeAndre Swift, Roschon Johnson, Ian Wheeler. This is a speculation one on my part, but I really do see Ian Wheeler making the team. I don't see us adding 2 running backs. We'll see on Monday when it comes time for free agency. If the Bears add another running back, that probably means Ian Wheeler is going to be a practice squad guy. But we'll go from here, assuming Ian Wheeler is going to be on the roster. So we're counting his spot. We do need another running back, running back 1 or 2 to complement DeAndre Swift. Much speculation going on about that, obviously. Tyler Scott, you can list him as wide receiver 3, 4, or 5, whatever you want. He just hasn't been panning out so far, so I'm going to put him at the bottom of the depth chart. So we do need 2 more wide receivers, 6, 7, 8. Yet down here, you see we added Durham Smythe. So right there, and it's estimated. This is not a firm, accurate, complete. This is estimated and rumored at this point. $2 million is going to be around what his 1-year deal is. So it's going to be close to this. So we'll end up updating that when we find out what it is. And then we scroll down here, we go along, we got Braxton Jones, Darnell Wright, Jonah Jackson, and Joe Tooney are added to this roster as well. This is on Spotrac. It's not going to show you the accurate number. This is what's being put put out there on Over the Cap by multiple analysts saying this is how much. So the base salary is $9 million. The amount the Bears are going to eat of the bonuses after the league year starts. Jonah Jackson, the Rams are going to pay most of his roster bonus. The Bears are going to have to pay about $2.83 million of that. So this is what it is being told right now is his contract for this year, the dead cap or the total cap for the Bears. So 11, 12, 13, 14. Still need our center, and we still need a lot of depth. We need a center, a guard center, or tackle, a swing tackle. We need a lot of things here. So 4 more positions needed on the offensive line. Then we move down to the defensive line. You got Daniel Hardy here. Right now, he's a special teamer. It's going to be interesting to see which one of these guys takes that roster spot at the end, because we do need another 3-tech, another defensive tackle, a starting defensive end, a backup defensive end. I doubt Daniel Hardy will be the depth that we continue to try to develop instead of drafting one. I can't see us not drafting a defensive end. I don't see that happening. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And then, if one of these guys Dominic Robinson gets cut, you insert Daniel Hardy, and it's really a wash on that, $100,000 difference. And Dominic Robinson has a small amount of dead cap, so it won't make much of a difference if that's what ends up happening. You got Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, Amen Ogbongbemiga, Noah Sewell, and Swayze Bozeman. Most teams do carry 6 on the active roster, so I'm going to count all these guys and still say we need a Jack Sanborn replacement here. That's speculation whether or not. I mean, they might just be going with these guys, and maybe Ogbongbemiga gets that role that Sanborn had, or maybe Noah Sewell steps up. To me, Noah Sewell's job is in jeopardy here. He did not have a good last year, but we'll wait and see as things construct. They will definitely be adding another linebacker. My guess is through the draft. It could happen in free agency, though. We'll see what happens. So then you get down to the secondary. We've added Josh Blackwell here, 2-year, $6 million deal. This is not firm on how that works, and neither is Amen Ogbongbemiga. We just know it's a 2-year, $5 million deal and a 2-year, $6 million deal. How it's constructed this year and next year, I'll update that when it's released. It may be $2 million and $4 million, $2.5 million and $3.5 million. We don't know yet how they've constructed that, so we're just going off that assumption, but it won't change these numbers dramatically either way. Maybe $500,000 more available this year for each one of those. So, I mean, we could update this a little bit more. We'll see, but this is going off of what we know now. So 37 roster spots filled, which means we need 16 more, and I won't be shocked if we try to make a move with a safety as well with all of these contracts. These 3, all 4 of those right here, all of these are done at the end of this year. So likely we would extend one of them. We'll see how Brisker comes back from injury. We'll see how Byard does. Likely extend 1 or 2 of them. I can see us re-signing Elijah Hicks. But we need to draft someone as well. We need to pick someone up somewhere, I would assume. Long snapper should be an easy one to fill. So with all that, there's the salary cap right now, $223 million. Against the cap total we have is $284. Take the dead cap into consideration. This is the updated rookie pool with the 7 picks we have left. That's how much these 7 picks will count against the cap. The practice squad will be $250,000 apiece for each one of those 16 players, and that leaves us with $41,249,978 in cap space left. And as you see right here, Ryan Poles left over last year with $5 million leftover cap. It's typical for him to have buffer cap. So if you take that into consideration, I would expect him to spend around $35 million more. Maybe Drew Dahlman, maybe Josh Sweat, maybe Khalil Mack. Those are going to be the major moves, a couple big ones, and then you'll see some, these long snapper, whoever that is, whoever we decide to bring back a long snapper. Dowley, most likely, in my opinion, Scott Dowley, $1.17 million there. So that won't take up much cap. We'll see what happens there. So some of these will be more expensive than others. That could be very expensive. We'll see what happens there. We'll get into that later with Carl on the show with the center position and Drew Dahlman. We'll see what happens because there's a big need for him in San Francisco too. But this is your updated cap for those who are asking. Many were asking, wanted to know. This is exactly where we stand right now with 16 more roster spots to fill. Likely 5 of those at least coming from the draft. Those top 5 picks should all be on the roster. Those 7th rounders will have to compete. No guarantee to make the roster, but sometimes they do, so we'll just see what happens. We like to think those 7th rounders are always a guarantee, but there's no guarantee with any of those things. So At least 5 of those come in there, so that'd be at 42. So 11 more, maybe 2 of those, so 9 more. We're in good shape. 35-ish million to spend to have a little buffer. 41 total available. That's good shape for the Bears. So we're in good position. We can sign another couple really big contracts, a couple mid-level contracts. We're in really good shape. So we'll see what happens from here. So Ryan Poles at work, getting work done. Another day of quality work for him. 3 quality additions to the roster. Josh Blackwell, Amen Ogbongbemiga, and Durham Smythe. All real quality. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. This is really good stuff. I will be on live later with Carl from Durham Smythe. If you guys haven't subscribed to him, I encourage you to do that by now. This will be a great episode today. The last episode before free agency hits on Monday, and I will be live on Mondays. So tune in for that. Be ready for it. I will be live in the middle of the day, 1 o'clock Eastern when free agency hits. Just be live reactions. Normally what I do is when I see news, I will make a video and stuff. I'm just going to have it live. We'll look up stuff together. We'll look at new live. We'll see. We'll include the salary cap. We'll see how it changes. We'll break it all down. We'll have some fun. So with that, I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you haven't hit the like button, please do that. If you haven't subscribed, don't know why you haven't by now, hit that notification button so you can see every video coming out. Appreciate being a part of this community, being a part with you. Until next time, the Bears and bear down.